Hi there, Randy Wolgemuth here. Today's podcast, I have a guest. Her name is Sheri Young, and she's going to share with us some leadership lessons that she's learned from dog shows. During Sheri's 40-year career, she's been an entrepreneur, small business owner, public servant, professional speaker, and author. And Sheri thinks deeply about leadership and spirituality and how to strengthen her connection to God from her understanding and how to help serve others. So Sheri takes her executive leadership knowledge and applies it to the very human experience of participating in dog shows as a purebred Samoyed breeder. So those of you who listen to my other podcasts, this is a nice change of pace. And welcome, Sheri. And we're all excited to hear what you have to say about your perspective on leaderships and dog shows.
Okay, thanks, Randy, for that lovely introduction. And yeah, I have a lot of views on leadership and the lessons learned from dog shows. As hilarious as that seems, it's really it's a beautiful thing because leadership and is a passion of mine, and my dogs absolutely are part of the desires of my heart. And so it's really a beautiful thing to have both of them come together. And during my career, I've learned that the best, most effective leaders, the ones that you remember forever, are kind, compassionate, empathetic, who lead from their hearts. And in my opinion, to have an authentic conversation about leadership and how we show up at the office every day, we need to recognize that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And boy, oh boy, the human part is far from perfect, at least from my point of view. But the good news is that when you awaken your soul and bring it to work, you have the God of your understanding with you to guide you and direct your day. You are never alone, and you have all the power of the Almighty and His creation to help you in difficult times and challenging situations. When you shift your focus away from stress and anxiety and onto the God of your understanding and commit it to Him in prayer, the quality of your leadership improves and you become more fulfilled and happy. This has been my experience. So now, these days, I'm a Samoyed dog breeder with purebred show dogs, and I spend a lot of time at dog shows. The lessons learned about leadership I've experienced in and around dog shows blew my mind and led to the publication of my book, In the Ring, Dog Shows, Spunk, and Leadership. So today, and thanks so much, Randy, I'd like to share 3 key takeaways from my book about leadership and bringing your soul to work. First, know your purpose. Second, stay true to yourself. And third, choose joy. So the dog show experience took me by surprise when I realized I was feeling the same emotions in and around dog shows as I did during my executive career. You see, dynamics around leadership, teamwork, and organizational culture are strikingly similar. I learned that what makes a strong team in the dog show ring is also what makes good and effective leaders in the not-for-profit and business world. This turned my mind to lessons that can be learned from our dogs and dog shows about how we need to take care of ourselves as spiritual human beings to be the best leaders we can be, because we all bring our souls to the ring we play in, whether it's at work or in the dog show area. Both at dog shows and in the corporate world, leaders need to know how to deal with the noise that can confuse and distract, how to handle both winning and losing, how to expand diversity, inclusion, and belonging, how to break down organizational silos, and how to improve mental health, happiness, and joy. So let's talk about that noise. There's a lot of noise at dog shows. You can hear physically with your ears, but also you hear physically with your ears a lot of noise, but you can also hear noise in your head that bombards your thinking. There are dogs barking, audience murmurs and gasps, applause, more dogs barking, the dragging of chairs scraping across bare floors, the constant hum of blowers drying wet dogs. There are gates and cages slamming shut. There are ring stewards shouting numbers, and it goes on. Dog shows are really noisy. And then there's what's happening on the ground. There are breeders, owners, and professional handlers rushing through crowded spaces, removing all types of dogs, shapes, sizes, different breeds in and out of show rings. And there's a lot at stake. For the owner handler, like me, their dog is the love of their life, and it matters a lot to get recognized by a judge. People pay big bucks to show dogs across the country. Needless to say, dog shows are intense environments, not unlike some workplaces and industries. Lots of things all happen at once. And if you let your mind drift off or let the noise overwhelm you, you can easily miss your opportunity. In the dog show ring, if you're nervous, confused, or anxious, and as a breeder, owner, handler, I've been all of those things, you're in big trouble because the spirit animal at the end of your lead feels everything, just like the members of your team back at the office. At dog shows, you get both good wishes and bad vibes from people. It's a complex environment with lots of issues at play. Emotions run high at dog shows, and this is some of the noise you can't hear. So, what on earth do dog shows have to do with leadership? Well, actually, a lot, because the common denominator is people, spiritual beings having a human experience. We're all connected by a power greater than ourselves, and you can sense how people feel about what you're doing. And as a leader, your success is determined by how you behave, what you think, and how you deal with people. To achieve the best outcome, you must rise above the noise and the chaos and be true to yourself, your values, and your purpose. So here are 3 leadership tips I've learned from dog shows that I'd like to share with you today. So first, know your purpose. What is the plan and purpose for your life and what you're leading? If your why and purpose are clear and your leadership is aligned with your soul, you feel peace, confidence, and serenity. So when there's a lot of noise and chaos around you, you know in your gut that it's all going to work out as it should, and there's no need for anxiety or panic. Number 2, stay true to yourself and focus your thoughts on your purpose and the God of your understanding. You are uniquely created for this space and time, and there's a plan and purpose for your life. Spend time in silence and prayer, connecting to God so He can show you the essence of your soul. Nothing can shake you off your game when you know your true self and your purpose. And by the way, this is where you find peace, happiness, and abundance. And finally, number 3, choose joy, whether you're losing or not, whether you're winning. We only have this present moment. Live in the now. Connect to the essence of you and a power greater than yourself. Feel love in your soul. Dig deep, man. And send it out to those you interact with, especially those who behave badly and are mean to you. Let it go. Don't assume people's intentions. You don't know what people are going through. What you give, you receive. This is the law of the universe, just like gravity. So when the noise around you tries to suffocate you with negativity, shift your attention to love and joy in your life and send it out to people. The best leadership, in my point of view, starts with love in your heart for God, for yourself, and for others. And who better to teach us about unconditional love than the wonderful affection, loyalty, and devotion we receive from our incredible spirit animals, our dogs. My dogs have taught me so much about connecting to, my higher power, connecting to something greater in myself to really sustain my life and my journey from this point on.
Very good. Very good. That's very interesting, Sheri. I like this, the 3, number 1, purpose. Number 2, stay true to yourself. Number 3, choose joy. And yeah, that resonates with me. You talk about noise, and I'm just thinking noise on a in a business environment. It seems to me, and I'd like your perspective, that with all the information that we get these days compared to, well, even 10 years ago, it just sometimes seems like I don't know if I can handle it, or it's almost too much, but a lot of it's very good. What's your thought on that?
Yeah, we are overwhelmed by information, and I think we're overwhelmed by social media, by news, and just there's a lot happening in the world. Let's just say that. And yeah, it's really important to really know your purpose and your grounding, and what are your principles and your values, and what is the point of what you're doing. And I think when what you're doing is aligned with your soul, you have peace. And I think that really grounds you, in what you're doing. And about all the noise, I mean, we have to discern and we have to decide what we focus on. And what you focus on is who you are. And in the workplace, you've got your strategic plan, you've got your operations, you got your bottom line and all that. And I think for me as a Christian, being able to say, like, Lord, help me to focus on what is the most important thing, right? And if you get overwhelmed, I mean, you can feel the anxiety coming up from your knees, kind of like rising up through your body. You can feel that stress coming up, and that's really your soul going ding, ding, ding. You need to shift your focus back to what your purpose is, what your higher power is telling you to do about the situation. And if you don't have the answers, then you go back into that silence. You go back at your desk, just breathe and get centered and ask the God of your understanding to show you what is the next thing you should be doing. And sometimes it's just being silent. So in the noise is actually an opportunity to really push through and to be silent and to be really connected to yourself and to your higher power, and to show you what you should do, because you know what, life is so precious. And I think sometimes we get caught up into just the busyness of work and our self-importance, and our ego wants to take control and all that. And I think just being centered and realizing that your life has a purpose and a meaning, and coming back to that and really working out between yourself, your soul, and your higher power, like what is the next thing that you need to do. And even if you're doing the right thing, if you're not happy with what you're doing, and if you're anxious about where you are in life, whether it's at home or at work, you may have some work to do about just slowing down a bit, I think, and really taking time to reflect on how you're treating yourself. So I think in the workplace, we talk a lot about compassion and empathy for people, but it really starts with yourself. And the thing about the dogs, it's all about connection. How we're connecting with our souls, how we're connecting with the universe, and the God of our understanding, and how we're connecting with people. We really need to make peace with ourselves and get our internal business sorted out before we can. You can't give what you don't have. You can't have empathy for your employees or your colleagues or even your competitors until you have that self-forgiveness, until you have that self-love. And it comes from a spiritual place, because we're spiritual beings having a human experience. We talk so much about our physical, health and our mental health, and all those things are so important. But I think we miss the primary health piece, and that's our spiritualities. And the dogs are they give us so much love, and they love us even sometimes when we have a hard time forgiving ourselves and loving ourselves, and they just are so full of love. And it's like, what? They're put here with us for a reason. And it's kind of a big brain dump, but there you have it.
Well, that's very good. Very interesting. Yeah. You talk about purpose, and I know in the Gold Growth Masterminds that I lead, one of the there's a lot of things that people go through, but the one thing that I insist on, that everyone write a purpose statement for life for them to graduate. And it's actually pretty hard for some people. I know the first time I did it on my purpose, well, what is my purpose? Is what's really important, right? And you have that, and you can go back and look at it when you kind of get confused sometimes about all the stuff. Well, what is my purpose? And let's focus on that, which you touched on that. That's very good. So, okay, then, I think we'll wrap up. But I wanted to ask you, so you have this book, and I'm assuming it's for sale. Want to just once again the title and where can people buy it? Yeah, so it's called In the Ring: Dog Show, Spunk, and Leadership, and it's available on Amazon. And the title's up there, and I have a couple of other books for sale that I've published as well. But yeah, they're really one that's close to my heart on leadership. Okay, very good. That's it for today. Catch you later.